Okay, I am still here with you, and I just want to stop and pause and see where we're at. So this is now the back side. So what you're seeing here is the color work changes of where you're going from color A to B on the main curve of the yin yang jumper. And then what we've just done is we've introduced our little portion of yarn of color B, which is going to be the dot of our yin yang, and that is technically called intarsia, where you have kind of a separate portion you're working with outside of the color work where you've got your two main balls. So just this is the tail of your little dot, and this is the working yarn of your little dot. That's the tail of your main curve, and here's the actual working yarn of that, and here's the working yarn of color A, which is kind of the main color. So hopefully yours looks like that. Obviously portions and ratios will be different because if you're working on a different size, it's not going to be exactly what you're seeing here, but it should look pretty similar. Okay, and I'm going to do the next row with you. I'm going to do most rows with you. I'm not going to lie, guys, because I'm just here for you. Okay, so we're going to start up on our purling. So again, we are reading our pattern and we are ticking off the rows as we go. We're reading our pattern, we're double checking, okay? Because this is what would trip you up, is if you're doing the wrong number of stitches or you get just confused with a different row, that will really fry your brain. And not to say that it can't be fixed, because you can always frog a couple of rows, figure out where you're at by counting and then start again. But ideally you won't, because ideally you're reading the rows and you're ticking them off so you know where you are. Okay, so here I go. I'm reading my rows. So purl across 6. Here we go. So this is just my numbers. Remember, you read your own pattern, because I am doing the itty bitty baby size so I can get through it today. So here we go. I've got 6 purls in color B, PB. And then I'm switching out to A. And this is all part of the main color work. So they're using my two main balls. So again, I lay it and I cross it and I pick up color A again, and I make sure that that goes up and crosses over and catches the color B. Now I'm doing 5 and 2. 5. So this is where I've gotten to the portion where I'm doing the dot. So I am going to now be doing a color change to my little portion of yarn that I'm using for the dot. So I'm not going to be using my main ball of color B, even though it says PB. I know it's my dot portion, okay? So again, I'm doing my color change where I put this, I cross them and I pick up my portion of B, and then I do my purl, okay? 1, and I'm just counting what my pattern says. So this is actually a really good thing to show you. So see how because we're not doing a straight line of color change, we're doing our diagonal, we will get these longer strands joining at the back. That is okay. And so long as you don't pull it ridiculously tight, it can be slightly baggy. I guess the whole thing you will learn as you go is getting the right tension at the back. So you're not pulling it super tight so it squeezes the jumper in and kind of puckers it, but you're not also leaving it super loosey-goosey, which will just be really messy on the inside. So my kind of trick is, so long as you are, here, I'll reverse one. Pop, put that back on. Okay, so remember, this is where I'm doing my color change. So I do a cross from the color I was using, I pick up the color I'm changing to, and I just do that kind of medium tight. See how I'm not going, ah, and I'm not leaving it super loosey-goosey. I'm just doing it kind of nicely tight. Put that in and switching. And then I do 4, 2, 3, 4. And so yeah, this is giving me grace as I do the stitches, and that's what you're hoping for. If that was really super tight, then maybe you've pulled the tension a bit tight. This is giving me a bit of space to do my stitches. Okay, so that's my PB, my second round of PB on that row. So that was the first one. using my ball. Then I had a PA, which is with my main ball. Then my next PB was my little portion that I'm using for the dot. Now I'm switching back to PA, what it says for PA. And again, I'm making sure that that is my little tail. So he just goes there. So I'm making sure that I'm catching the yarn. I wouldn't go underneath because that would leave that loosey-goosey. I'm always having the one that I worked with underneath and the one I'm moving to going across the top. Okay, so again, I'm not going to pull that super tight. I want to just do it so it's nice and flat. And that's how I moved back to my colour change, which is to yarn colour A. Okay, then across I go.